Hey everyone, how's it going? Total Level here with another video for all of you. So yeah, sorry about being quiet the last little while, just dealing with a heat wave where I live. It's been going on for quite a while, as yeah, just been feeling kind of sick lately, right? So yeah, just haven't been up to doing videos or sitting in front of a camera, and at least doing it this way, doing a voiceover here, like I get to have a fan in the background and I can wear as many clothes or as few clothes as I want and no one will know. So that's nice. Maybe throw in some fan action for all of you to see my hair flip all over the place, you know, free of charge because I'm that nice of a guy. Now, onto the video. So earlier back in January, I talked about doing the RPG challenge, which I was invited by my good buddy John to partake in this challenge where you are tasked to beat at least 12 RPGs in 2024. Well, I already did my 12 in kind of the middle of July, so we're going to talk about those games along with my plans of which ones I want to finish later on, because there are two big ones in my backlog that I have started. I just put them aside because there's too many good games coming out this year, but they are ones that I want to beat for sure. Like out of all my bucket list RPGs, backlog, all that, I want to beat these two, but we'll talk about those at the end. As yeah, I'll talk about the 12 I beat and quickly kind of review them, and then we'll get into ones that I still plan to beat, maybe ones that I dropped a little bit here and there, but still plan to hopefully pick up at some point. I'll leave the links in the description down below for everyone's channel who is partaking in this challenge. I would name them all right now, but I know I would forget so many, so yeah, I'll just put them all in the description down below. Please check out each and every channel, subscribe to them. You know, they are really, really great people, great friends, everything like that. So without further ado, let's look at the 12 RPGs that I beat so far in 2024. First up, we have Super Mario RPG. I won't go into this too much because I did talk about this game a lot on my channel before, did a full review on my channel too, but really, really fun game, really cool remake, right? As it's a pretty one-to-one remake, not really any big changes or anything, just a lot of quality of life improvements and everything like that. But yeah, it's just a great RPG for people to start with if they're new to RPGs. There is some platforming, and it's kind of awkward platforming, even though it is Mario. It's not as, you know, intuitive as your, you know, practical Mario platformer games, but yeah, still a lot of fun and a little too puzzly at times, but still, it's just a really great one. Short RPG, takes about 10 hours or so, you know, especially with the quality of life stuff, it makes the game a lot easier to play, right? But it's one that I really recommend, and yeah, just a great starter for people who are looking to get into JRPGs for the first time. Next up, we have Hogwarts Legacy, as I really, really enjoyed this game a lot. I played it on the PlayStation 5, and it's just about everything I want in a Harry Potter universe kind of game, right? As exploring Hogwarts was such a blast. There's really cool puzzles in this game too, you know. Combat could be better, but, you know, got a little repetitive near the end, but still I enjoyed the combat, and just flying around on your broom and everything when you get that unlocked was so cool. Now, there are some issues with this game. Plot-wise, wasn't the greatest. It has quite a few cliches, right? Like, however you create your own protagonists, because you get to create them however you want and be placed in one of the 4 houses, right? But yeah, your main character can see traces of ancient magic. Of course, he's, you know, can learn magic just on the fly. He's like the, you know, the chosen one type of thing, right? And kind of one of the main villains here being this goblin named Ranrock wasn't the most memorable or anything like that, along with this open world, you know, has a lot of those open world issues with side quests being very repetitive and certain NPCs not being super memorable, or these villas you kind of visit aren't very memorable too. But regardless of all that, is just everything that you would want as any sort of Harry Potter fan and everything like that. It's just a really cool experience and some fun mini games to play, some little aspects that are fun. I wish they did a bit more with the magic, because you learn a lot of spells, but when it comes to combat you don't use a whole lot of them. Like, occasionally you have to use them to break a barrier or whatever of what someone's using to defend themselves, but you're not using too much on bigger puzzles, right? It's pretty basic puzzles for the most part on some of these. Some of them are very clever, but others are just like, okay, set fire to this spider web or whatever, right? But overall, yeah, just a really cool experience, and yeah, I'm excited for whatever sequel comes out, because it can work on a lot of issues that were present in this game, right? And yeah, just really looking forward to more Hogwarts Legacy games later on. Next up, we have Like a Dragon Infinite Wealth, and you know, in a previous video I said Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth was my game of the year so far, but keep going back and forth, and I think Infinite Wealth is my game of the year, as let me tell you why. This game is everything you want in an RPG. It has that serious storyline, you know, gets pretty dark at times, like really dark, and then you got these weird, goofy, wacky moments that are just absolutely hilarious, you know, just like every other Yakuza Like a Dragon Judgment game, you know, as you're following Ichiban once again, along with his fellow party members, which we'll call since he loves Dragon Quest, and you know, life's good for them. They all have great jobs, financial security, everything like that. But later on, this Tatara channel comes along, a VTuber who slanders their names. They all lose their jobs, and so Ichiban gets a call from the Seiryu clan to search for this woman. I won't say who this woman is or connection or anything like that, as it might be a bit of a spoiler for people, but yeah, has to go to Hawaii to search for this woman, and after some hilarious things that happen while he's down there too, he runs into Kiryu Kazuma, so yeah, get another reunited moment with him, right? As you're kind of going back and forth playing as both of them, starting in Hawaii with both of them together, and then later on Kiryu goes back to Injicho, along with going to Kamurocho here and there, as he's kind of doing bucket list stuff where Ichiban is continuing to search for this woman that also Kiryu was looking for too. But yeah, it's just really fun combat. They really improved it from the first Yakuza Like a Dragon game, where now you can move a little bit in combat, and as you build social links, you get to do these tag team attacks and everything like that. There's really fun mini games. You don't have to do these mini games too, which is nice. It's always nice to have optional stuff. I think you have to do a few of them, like just quick tutorial stuff, but you don't have to stick with it if you don't want. Most of the mini games I really like they do this Pokemon parody, which they had in the first game too with Ichiban, but this one they make it a full-fledged game. Like, it's a long quest line. There's also this Animal Crossing type of quest line, which I wasn't a big fan of that one, but I'm not like the hugest fan of Animal Crossing anyways, or that sort of style, right? But regardless, it's just really cool, a lot of fun, and yeah, just a game I highly recommend. You will have to play Like a Dragon, or Yakuza Like a Dragon, I would say, just to get used to the storylines. You don't necessarily have to play every Yakuza game, but I would recommend that one before playing Infinite Wealth. But yeah, just fantastic game all around. Next up, we have Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition. So yeah, won't go too much into this one also, since I did versus review of Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, and 3 on my channel before, but yeah, just really love this game, love this whole series, right? It's all fantastic, as playing as Shulk, who is wielding this sword called the Monado, where he's one of the only people who can wield it without getting hurt and everything. It shows him visions of the future or near future, right? So he's trying to prevent certain events from happening, trying to save a bunch of people from this mechanical race called the Mechon, right, who are attacking all these colonies. Just really great story, really great characters, fantastic music. The auto battle system I've never been the biggest fan of in these games, you know, like, it's fine and it improves over time as you play through the series, but still not the biggest fan of them. But yeah, I just really love this game, and yeah, this whole series. I'm looking forward to what Monolith Soft has up next later on, right? It's just, man, they make such epic RPGs, and can't wait for their next project, whatever that may be. So now we have Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, which I really love this game. There's so much I loved about it, right? It was just an awesome experience seeing all these different places remade, this open world, right? It was just a really cool experience, and some of the places you visit are just mind-blowing. The details, the everything's coming to life in this remake is just amazing to see. Combat improves even more from remake and everything. Now, why do I go back and forth and say that Infinite Wealth is my game of the year versus Rebirth? Well, I think it comes down to that Rebirth had a few more just irritating moments for me, I would say, because there's a lot of mini games in this game, and a lot of them are really fun to do, right? Like Queen's Blood is one of the best mini games to ever be created in any sort of game, not just an RPG or anything like that. But then you get ones like this Gears and Gambit that's not so fun to play. Like, oh man, that drove me nuts. I needed to watch a YouTube video to get through that, because I wanted to get through it to see the storyline and everything, but it's the main game not fun. Main game where you're doing like this chocobo catching, you know, you don't do it too often, but that was never fun for me. And just, it forces you to do a lot of these mini games, and if you're not big on mini games, then yeah, this game might present some issues with you. And there were some frustrating moments, like Kate Sith wasn't fun to control for me at all, and there is a part late in the game where you have to control him by himself at times, and yeah, that was the worst part of the game for me for sure. I know it was for a lot of people too, but yeah. And with open world, again, you get, you know, repetitive quests and some storylines that just weren't super interesting, right? But regardless of all that, it was just a fantastic game. I love Final Fantasy VII. I love the universe, the characters, the music, everything like that, right? And so it's still a fantastic game. I just think it had few irritating moments for me that prevent it from being that game of the year for me compared to, say, Infinite Wealth. But yeah, it's still fantastic game, and one that if you love Final Fantasy, you love Final Fantasy VII, I think it's just a fantastic game. Next up, we have Classic Heroes 1 and 2 Remastered. So again, I won't go too much into this, as I talked about these games on my channel, and code provided to me by PCube, which was really cool. My first ever review codes for any game, right? So that was really, really neat. As, yeah, I kind of talked about this with Classic Heroes 1, just not my type of game, right? I found it quite frustrating. It was, you know, very, very grindy. Story was not memorable at all, and yeah, just a lot of reused dungeons over and over. Like, they try and make them a bit random, but all it is the same dungeons, and as you progress through, you just get those same dungeons kind of reskinned a bit, and yeah, just not the funnest of games. Classic Heroes 2G though, man, they did improve on like every aspect. It still has some of those issues, a lot of that grinding and everything, but the grinding is a lot less. It's a lot easier to level up. You also get money a lot quicker in this game. There's quite a few hilarious moments in this, as they make some pretty fun characters in this game. And yeah, for a first-person dungeon crawler, this was just a lot more enjoyable. Now, if you're getting into first-person dungeon crawlers for the first time, or you kind of want to know what they're all about, I probably wouldn't recommend these games to you, as you kind of need to know the mechanics, the patience you need for these games, right? If you go in just kind of like expecting a nice, simple, easy game, like, yeah, you're not getting that here. But for anyone who really enjoys these dungeon crawlers and everything, I think at least Classic Heroes 2G is a lot of fun to play through. Next up, we have Eiyuden Chronicle Rising. So I enjoyed this game. It was a solid experience, nothing super special or anything. It's a Metroidvania type experience. You're playing as this teenage girl named CJ, who's an adventurer along with a treasure hunter, comes into town and is tasked with helping a lot of the townsfolk out, gain these stamps and gain rewards along the way, right? There's a few different playable characters in this game too, and yeah, it's solid enough Metroidvania game, you know. And Eiyuden Chronicle, spiritual successor to Suikoden, right? I haven't played 100 Heroes yet, as I do want to wait for the Suikoden 1 and 2 HD remaster. Please tell me it's not cancelled, because man, we haven't heard anything about it for months now. But yeah, I'm holding out on playing the Suikoden games right now, and then once I played through those, like, yeah, I'll start with doing 100 Heroes at some point. But yeah, just waiting for the HD remasters. But yeah, for Metroidvania experience, not too bad, you know. There is a lot of backtracking, as there is with a lot of these Metroidvania type of games, but you know, solid enough kind of adventure RPG, right? As had solid time with this one. Up next, we have Neo: The World Ends With You. So this was a pretty fun game, though I have to say, if this was, say, a 20 to 30 hour-ish experience, I think I would have loved it. But because this is like a 50 plus hour game, I still haven't even done everything with it, right? As I believe there's multiple endings in this game, and I'm like, no, I'm okay with the normal ending, because it is so repetitive, like story-wise and characters and everything. Fantastic, along with a fantastic soundtrack, but it is very one note. You're fighting the same enemies over and over and over again in the same battle format over and over again. Like, occasionally they kind of mix it up with these kind of turf battles and everything like that, but for the most part it's just very much the same throughout. And in order to get kind of stronger, which, yeah, it's a bit confusing when you first start, but yeah, you don't really get stronger by leveling up. You get stronger by eating foods throughout the game. Those are the ones that kind of increase your attack and everything. Leveling up just increases your HP, but you don't do any extra damage, right? But yeah, and you're playing as Rindo along with his friend Fret, who is now in this Reapers game, because apparently, like, they died. So you're playing this Reapers game where the reward is you get to live again, live in the real world, right? And so just a really compelling storyline that's just bogged down by repetitive gameplay and just a bit too long for my liking. It's still a lot of fun, and it's still one that has a great story, great cast of characters, but would have been, I think, much better if they just cut down a bit, trim a bit that meat down, right? Next, we have Xenoblade Chronicles 3 Future Redeemed. So normally I wouldn't put DLC or anything like that on these lists of RPGs and beaten games or anything, but considering you got new characters and the game being about 30 hours long, I think it's okay to put this here. I won't talk too much about this because in order to play this, you pretty much need to play through Xenoblade Chronicles 1, 2, 3, along with their, expansions of Future, Connected, and then the Torna DLC for Xenoblade 2, right? So yeah, you can go into this if you want, but you will probably be a bit lost on the characters and things like that, right? But just a fantastic expansion, fantastic experience in game, and it's a bittersweet moment because yes, I still have Xenoblade Chronicles X to eventually play through, but it's a bittersweet moment to know that my Xenoblade Chronicles journey for these main games is done, right? Of playing through the main games, playing through all the expansions, and yeah, definitely a bit of a sad moment, but yeah, just a really cool experience. And yeah, I love these characters, love the music, love the story. Again, I don't want to say much about this in this type of video for spoiler reasons, but yeah, it was just an incredible experience. Next, we have The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. Yes, a controversial one. Ooh. I know, this type of Zelda isn't going to be for everyone, but for me, man, it was a fantastic game now. There are issues I have with it, the weapon durability is still a big issue here. It's not as bad because you get this fusion ability to fuse different items together, so it's pretty easy to get weapons put together and everything, but yeah, the weapon durability still bugs me, and wasn't a big fan of trying to fuse objects together. It was just a bit clunky and everything like that, but regardless of all that, man, I absolutely love this game. It was just an incredible experience. My favorite part, strangely enough, is actually when you do certain puzzles, usually through these shrines or whatever, and you do a puzzle and a completely unintended way, but it still works for you. That just always puts a smile for me, right? Where it's just yeah, I love when you accidentally complete something way more than when you do something as intended, right? It's just a much more satisfying feeling, and I love the battles in this game, and it was just, everything about it was really cool. Now, I didn't do everything in it, I did quite a bit, and I still beat this game in around 70 hours, which feels short and all that, even though I know I did quite a bit. I did a lot of the shrines, I did a lot of the big side quests, and everything like that, but yeah, it still took me around 70 hours, which just seems so short for a game like this, but I know usually I do beat games a bit faster than most people, I would say. Even when I take my time, I don't know what it is, I just tend to do that. But yeah, I love Zelda Tears of the Kingdom. It was a incredible game, and yeah, one that I'll definitely go back to from time to time, especially, again, won't 100% it, there's just way too much to do, but still go back and do things here and there to get closer to 100%ing it. And the final RPG number 12, The Legend of Heroes Trails Through Daybreak. We're now onto the Calvard arc, as what a fantastic game, great story, amazing characters. I love this game so much. The soundtrack is incredible too, as, yeah, just, what a fun game playing as Van Arkwright, who's a bit of a private detective, starts his own agency called Arkwright Solutions, and you know, they take on kind of shady jobs, right? Kind of those borderline gray area legal type of jobs, and later on gets a visit from this high school girl named Anya, who's looking for her kind of grandfather's ornament type machines called Genesis, and so starts off that way, but later on you kind of run into a mafia group named Almada who's using these Genesis for their own gain, right? And that's where kind of the story picks up, right? But these characters, man, just really cool. The main character of Van, voiced by Damien Hawes, just what a fun character, and it's nice to play as a main protagonist who's a bit older now, not having a main character who's a teenager. It's always nice, you know, someone in their mid-20s, he's 24, right? And yeah, love him. Agnes is great, very, I love Aaron, like, Aaron and Van together, just, match made in heaven. It's just awesome, and yeah, everyone else that comes along, Judith and all that, it's just, yeah, really cool experience. The soundtrack is amazing, and it's a great place to start if you're new to the Trails series. Like, yes, the best place to start is with the Sky trilogy and work your way up there, but if you just want to kind of know these characters and all that, yes, there's going to be some characters from previous games that you won't know about, along with, you know, certain events they talk about that you might be a bit lost in, but still, it's a good place to start just to get a handle on the Trail series, and then, you know, if you enjoy it, you can always go back, right? But yeah, I just really loved it. Can't wait for Trails through Daybreak 2 early next year, sorry, as, yeah, I just love it. I love the Trails game so much, and yeah, I had a blast with this. And so those are the 12 RPGs that I beat so far in 2024. Though this was supposed to be a challenge. Pfft, easy peasy, am I right? No, I'm glad to be part of this challenge, as even though I completed, you know, the base challenge of 12 RPGs, I'm still not satisfied. I have a few that I still really want to beat this year that's been in my backlog for many years, as most of the games I beat so far are pretty recent modern games, right? Either they came out in the last 2 years or they're not too old, right? So yeah, I do have quite a few more to beat, so we'll talk about those, starting with Sakuna of Rice and Ruin. So I think I'm getting pretty close to beating this game. I am enjoying it. There's a few frustrating parts because it has these kind of stages and all that. If you played something like The Legend of Naita Boundless Trails, it'll be kind of familiar to you, where you have these different stages that you have to go through multiple times to do different challenges, because as you do these challenges through each area, you get exploration points which allow you to explore other areas. And there's some platforming, which the platforming in this game isn't very great. It can be frustrating at times, same with combat, as there's a few parts where enemies can kind of juggle you around, and that can get quite annoying. But regardless of all that, it's still a really fun game, a lot of quirkiness to it. It's very unique, where the way you power up and kind of level up, I guess, is through rice farming. The better you farm rice, the stronger you get, right? It's very unique in that sense, and yeah, neat little art style. And so yeah, looking forward to beating this game hopefully pretty soon. Like, the parts I'm at, it feels like I'm getting near the end. And so on to 2 games that I do plan on being this year, which after Sakuna I'll be playing these ones. As first is Final Fantasy XII, so playing the PS4 version, Zodiac Age, the remaster, and so far really enjoyed this game. I like the amount of customization you get. You get to pick this different kind of bandit board that's like a job system, right, where you have many different jobs to pick from, and yeah, it kind of creates a lot of that replay value, right? And it's both kind of actiony and turn-based at the same time, this kind of neat little hybrid, and it has a bit of a MMO feel to it. It's very neat that way, and yeah, enjoying the story, the characters. Just, yeah, a lot of things got in the way because I did start this game back in like February, but then Final Fantasy 7 Rebirth came out, and after I beat Rebirth, I'm like, okay, I'll take a break from Final Fantasy for a little bit, and yeah, once I beat Sakuna, I think I'll pick this game back up again. And then the second one that I really want to beat is Legend of Legaia. Again, I started this one a little while back, and then, yeah, stuff like I wanted to play through Zelda Tears of the Kingdom along with Trails Through Daybreak came out, so put that one aside for a bit, but I really enjoy it. I love the whole martial arts kind of combat system, where you're doing different combos, and depending on the inputs you put in, you do different kind of attacks, and yeah, so far it's just really neat. Graphic wise, yeah, it's a lot of these games were trying to go for that Final Fantasy 7, original Final Fantasy 7 style, so yeah, a lot of these 3D kind of polygon models and everything don't age that well, but the game itself really neat, as yeah, I'm enjoying the story of this mist kind of seeping through and people turning into the Seiru, right? And so yeah, you're kind of going on an adventure to save your village and the rest of the world, right? It's just really neat. So yeah, I really want to beat this. I know a lot of people love this game, and it's a big reason why it's on my list to finally beat this year. I've had it for quite a while, so yeah, now's probably a good time to finally get around and beating it for the first time. And then I had a few others that are more like if I can find the time, because again, yeah, there's so many more games coming out this year that I'm looking forward to, of Visions of Mana, Metaphor, Zelda, Ys 10, localized version of Ys 10, right? And so, not sure I'll get through all these, but I did have plans of possibly finally playing through Nier Automata for the first time, Final Fantasy 3, like Illusion of Gaia, Soul Blazer, and Terramizer, something like that. The 3-part trilogy. There's also like the Grand Stream Saga, which is like the spiritual successor to that trilogy of games or whatever, but those are more kind of on the maybe pile. Same with Cyberpunk 2077, though that one, if I do have time, that's one I do want to get through, because I been wanting to play that game for such a long time. Just yeah, there's it's kind of hard to play a lot of these games, right? It's just, oh man, there's way too many to play through, but kind of all those are more on the maybe side of things. And then one that I did drop that I started at the beginning of this year was Shadow vs. Champions Battle. Now, I really enjoyed this game. It's kind of just trading card collecting type of game where you do, yeah, battle, like trading card battles, right? But it's presented in a JRPG style, and yeah, love the characters, love the voice acting, the graphics, the card game itself is pretty fun. The issue though is this game is very difficult, I find. Like, you need a lot of RNG luck, unfortunately. The trading card game itself, Shadowverse, is fairly unbalanced, unfortunately, so I find like you need a lot of good luck to beat certain people and all that, because you have kind of your regular battles, which is all, you know, everyone kind of uses random cards, and then you got these boss battle type ones where these people will have like a signature card that they will always play on like the third or fourth turn rate, and sometimes that can be a bit harder to deal with, because even though you know it's coming, you have to hope that you have the right cards available to you to play at the right time, right? So yeah, I do want to beat this game, but man, I'm struggling to get through it just because of all the RNG luck, so hopefully I can pick it up and play through it again at some point. Just right now, yeah, put it to the side. And so those are my RPGs that I beat this year, the RPG challenge. So I hope you enjoyed listening to my thoughts on these games, and yeah, hopefully get through a few more, because even though I'm done the challenge, I still want to play and beat more RPGs, right? Like I said, especially Final Fantasy XII and Legend of Legaia. Those were my big kind of bucket list items for this challenge, right? So I do plan on beating them, and yeah, once I get through Sakuna, probably get to playing those ones. And yeah, let me know what RPGs or just games in general you've beaten so far this year. I would love to hear your thoughts in the comments down below. Or if you want to take part of this challenge too, let me know. Like, you know, always love seeing more people take part in these kind of fun little challenges and see what games they kind of play and beat. Whether you complete the challenge or not, like, it's just a lot of fun to do and talk about with others, right? So yeah, let me know in the comments, everything, all that. Check everyone else's channel in the comments down below. Give them a like, subscribe, everything like that, all that fun stuff, right? So yeah, I'll see you next time, everyone. Hope you enjoyed. Thanks for watching, and have a great rest of your day. Hey everyone, hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, be sure to leave a like and comment, and subscribe if you want to see more, or if you just want to see any of my skits and then nothing else and leave the video, that's fine too. Thanks everyone, take care.